Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zenj or Cam. Today I'm making a video I don't really want to have to make. Today I am making a video on John Eustace leaving my football club. The manager of my local football team, Blackburn Rovers, has requested to leave us in 6th place, and he's going to be joining relegation battle inside Derby Football Club, which are currently sat in 22nd in the Championship. This highlights just how bad the owners of Blackburn Rovers, Venky's, have been during, I think they took over 2012 maybe, not completely sure, but they have been bad, very bad. Since they took over, it's been, all I've seen is just a managed decline of the football team. They have zero ambition to return to the Prem, like, it's so draining to see. I started going when we were in the Prem, like the very latter stages of the Premier League, and since then, since they took over, it's just been a managed decline. I don't know another way to put it. That's just what it's been. Now, John Eustace, the manager in question, I want to start by going into some background on him. He's genuinely a brilliant manager. He's one of the best we've had in years, and he's got us playing attacking football, which is something that hasn't been at Ewood Park in so long. Like, we're very rarely on the front foot in terms of attacking, and it's just annoying he's had to go. On screen you can see the stats of the team, comparing them to our previous manager, John Thomason. It shows here JDT comes out on top, when in reality that's just not the case. John Eustace has currently got us sat in 6th place in the Championship, where John Dahl struggles to keep us anywhere near that position. They were both good managers, but I think John Eustace had the larger impact in a smaller time frame. In the end, both these managers have walked away from our club, boiling it down to not being able to communicate with the ownership properly, which is a fitting way as they show very little communication to us fans in general. The takeaways I have from this are just that the owners must have absolutely zero ambition to reach the heights we were previously at when in the Premier League. We've done that. We did that in 95-96 season. I think they are just interested in keeping Blackburn Rovers afloat and just basically skimming profits off the top when they can, which is probably a lot of the time. Two decent managers walking away due to mismanagement at the top is a clear sign something needs to walk away. Two good guys who can't even communicate with the owners and have been forced to walk away and even forced to go to a team fighting relegation over us that are in the playoffs, which could get back to the Prem. It's baffling. As a fan, this is one of the craziest things I've seen in football, in a way that someone's gone from a playoff spot to relegation side because of the owners. They can't work with them like that. It just hurts. It hurts to see that that's where my club is, and it's probably a wider spread issue than just Blackburn Rovers. Like, we see mismanagement at Chelsea right now with Todd Boehly splashing the cash like an idiot and splashing it for fun, basically. And I don't think that's the way football should be done. And I know that Jack Walker, the previous owner of Blackburn Rovers, was like a local lad. He basically did the same thing City did with oil money. He bought the best players in the world that were available, Alan Shearer at the time, and just created a super team and won the league. That's how we won. I'm never gonna say, oh, it was just like a Leicester thing. All these players come together and they created a great team. It wasn't like that. So I'm not going to try and front and say that it was, but for Venky's to have no ambition to even want to have access to the funds of the Premier League, like, if they just get us up once, you're in the door, and it's just so much more funds for them, and I don't clearly see why they wouldn't want that. It's just not the managers or players' fault anymore. Like, we can always complain about that at football games and stuff, but it's really not now. It's really not. It's just serious mismanagement from the top down. Moving on now, I just wanted to briefly discuss the finances of Venky's and my club, Blackburn Rovers, in general. Being in the Championship, we're so blessed in the way that we get drip-fed players from the Prem to keep us afloat and keep us above the League 1 sides or League 2 sides. Like, they can't compete with the second team of Prem teams, so it's sort of like a filtered down system, and I think it's going to break soon. I don't know why. I just think the Prem is basically just a monopoly now. It has access to everything it would want, and no one can really compete financially. So it's become a monopoly in terms of the whole footballing world and as well as in England. So I think it's going to burst soon. I don't know, that's just a theory I have. But here you can see Blackburn Rovers revenue in a bar chart. Obviously, it's not a great looking graph for a business at the end of the day, but I want to highlight 2012. There's a sharp decline when we exited the Premier League, obviously, and then there was a further dip in 2017-18 when we jumped down to the third tier of English football. Since returning to the Championship, turnover has hovered around the 20-25 million range, which is influenced by broadcast deals and sponsorships. The next graph I'd like to show you is Venky's revenue over the last 9 years. I think this is important to give context. The bars show the revenue in Indian rupees, whilst the pound sterling figures are shown within the bars. With an average of 300 million each year in this time frame, it's kind of shocking looking at Blackburn Rovers, and with just an investment of 100 mil, could maybe see them shoot back up to the Prem where the big money is, but they just don't want that apparently. I feel since seeing them take over, I have just seen them keep my club stable, which I honestly just have to commend them for. However, this is a big however, there's just no ambition, or communication, or even honesty. I think maybe in the 2 years, I have seen 2 clear communications from the owners, Venky's, in the 13-14 years they've been owners. And this is only in times of like serious like turmoil, such as when we got demoted to League One. I think they gave a statement then. They've given another statement on this Eustace leaving, which is obviously a shock, and it's a sign that they're messing up. They're messing up seriously. I do have to respect though as well how they got us straight back up to League One, out of League One and back into the Championship, as I know that is a very slippery slope. Once you leave the Championship, if you lose a few key players, then you're going down even further, and yeah, it's just very dangerous financially when you keep going down. But genuinely, I wouldn't even boil that down to Venky's being great owners in the way we got back up. It was probably most likely down to Bradley Dack and Charlie Mulgrew that season. Bradley Dack was unreal in League One at levels above everyone, and Charlie Mulgrew just essentially scored free kicks all season long. It was actually a really good season because we were outplaying every single person we played every week, so it was good to watch. But we shouldn't be there. We should be in the Prem. And it was no, although they've kept my club afloat and they've got us back up and stuff, it's just not enough. They need ambition. They're not trying to grow the club or expand it. They're just plodding along, you know. But it just shows when you get to them lower leagues in English football, it's very hard to stay afloat, and to even compete with the larger teams, it's just near impossible. Now I just want to finish this video talking about the future and what I would hope to happen and what I think is going to happen, considering Blackburn Rovers and the Venky's. I really hope Venky's see what they're doing to my club. This is the second manager that has walked away and refused to work with them flat out, and they've both left the statements. Their leaving statements clearly outlined that it was the owners as the problem and they can no longer work with them. I think Venky's now have 2 clear options. They either improve the communication and their ambition, or just sell up. Genuinely, that is their only options, and I think, like, genuinely I see them selling, because this isn't the first time this isn't going to be the first time Rovers fans protest, and I know they're going to protest over this, because back in 2017, we protested then for Venky's out and nothing came of it. We just sort of all forgot about it because we're still in the Championship, we still get back to the Prem, but now this time's different. I feel like there is going to be more protests. But yeah, flashing back to 2017, we protested then, and I distinctly remember a time when a fan threw a chicken on the pitch in protest against Burnley. Eustace leaving is going to spark more protests, and I truly believe this time Venky's have no option but to sell. I can't imagine what protests are going to take place, and there will be a lot of hatred built up within the fans now, built up over a long period of time. I don't have hatred for Venky's. I like to see it from both points of view. They're businessmen, businesswomen, whoever is running it. Like, I would buy Blackburn Rovers. I think if obviously I would if I was rich, and if I was the owner of Blackburn Rovers and I had unlimited funds, I'd do everything to get them back to the top, like anyone would of their own local team. But yeah, I guess this wraps up this video. I just wanted to make a little informative video on the state of my club at the moment, and I genuinely think this is going to spark some more protests, and I think this time we might actually see change, because the previous protest didn't do anything, and this time the second manager leaving due to poor communication is not even acceptable for a business organisation and not a football club. Like, the owners have to be. They never turn up to Ewood Park. They never turn up to watch the football games and support them. They're just there for the profit, and I'm tired of it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to smash a cheeky like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.